We'll be reviewing the adventure film about kids shot into space. It's called Spacecamp. But first we catch up with the film that its distributors tried to hide from critics. They just sneaked it out the night before.
Yeah, that's the way they like to do with films. You know, this is a great film. We're talking about Cobra by Sylvester Stallone. They have 1,300 prints.
More than 2,000.
More than 2,000 prints playing around the country, but not a single one to show to the critics for some reason. You'd think they'd be eager to have us see this new film. After all, it stars Stallone. It was written by Stallone. And it is making a lot of money for Stallone. It's called Cobra, and it's a prime example of a new kind of film that's being made now. A movie for people who are connoisseurs of special effects. They love the technology, they like the blood, but they have very, very short attention spans. And this kind of movie, if anything lasts more than 9 seconds, you got to think back to remember how it began. Cobra is not really about anything at all, except for the central fact that there's a crackpot army of mad slashers on the loose. And by the end of the film, Sylvester Stallone will have murdered all of them. The movie has an absolute minimum of plot, dialogue, and characterization. This is the first movie I've seen where the most interesting thing about the hero is the fact that he chews on a matchstick. Here's a scene that sets up what passes for the plot.
There's no question that it's the same weapon.
90% sure it's the identical weapon.
That brings the count to 16, and still this bastard shows no distinct pattern.
Well, maybe there's more than one killer.
Hey, look, this is not your specialty, okay? This is pure investigative police work, not jumping through a window. I think what we need is to beef up the task force.
What we need is some interagency cooperation. Every department wants to be the damn hero in this case.
Captain, look, I don't want to be a hero. I just want to get involved, all right?
If I may say something, Captain. If we let Cobra use his tactics, we're asking for a lot of trouble.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that he works on the zombie squad and he should stay there.
You tell me where I should stay now?
Hey, it's nothing personal. We're just different kinds of cops, that's all.
Cobra, like Monty says, you're on the zombie squad. You're a specialist that does a job nobody wants, all right? But we can't go shaking down people who have internal affairs jumping down our throats.
Yeah, well, then we lost.
Lost? What do you mean lost?
Because as long as we have to play by these rules and the killer doesn't, we're going to lose.
Yeah, that's the big Dirty Harry line. Here's a good question. If you were on a motorcycle chasing a guy in a truck who had a machine gun, would you keep on chasing him? Well, you know, it's kind of funny because they're supposed to be such mad killers. They're not even shooting back at him. They're just lining up on their motorcycles to be shot. Right.
The other thing that I love is, would you really make that attack in daylight? I mean, you might think you could go at nighttime. The other thing is, you notice that no one, they showed you little houses on the side of the street there. No one was looking out their windows or anything.
No, nobody cares.
It must happen. It must
America's
be
a very violent society. People are shooting machine guns all the time on the street. You got a glimpse there of Bridget Nielsen behind the wheel. She plays the only witness to one of the killings, so Stallone is assigned to protect her, and he falls in love with her. But the funny thing is, this movie just can't spare the time for their romance. They look at each other, and instantly they fall in love, but there's not one shred of human interest in this entire relationship. No time for it. I know nothing about her. Having seen the movie, nothing about her as a person. Stallone says he wanted to keep Cobra less than 90 minutes long so the movie could play one extra time every day in every theater. That way it can set a box office record. Well, in that he has succeeded. That's about the only thing in the movie that works.
I say there's one other thing that works, and that is the Dirty Harry theme. People, 16 years now, or 15 years, whatever it is, after Dirty Harry, are still frustrated by the criminal seeming to have more rights than the victims.
Yeah.
And when Stallone hits those key lines, I felt the audience respond, and I respond too. Other than that, though, other than being simply a second-rate, third-rate Dirty Harry, there's nothing to the story.
The movie is just a machine that involves action and involves violence. The thing that concerns me a little bit about this film is, well, maybe it's not concern. Maybe this is just a trade observation. This is his third series hero. Because obviously there are going to be a lot more Cobra movies, Cobra 2 and Cobra 3, in which he kills other gangs. Then he's got Rocky, then he's got Rambo. This is, from a financial point of view, a Hollywood phenomenon. Sylvester Stallone is the only person in history, first of all, to have two series heroes at the same time. Now he's got three going. This guy is going to have so much money that he could afford to make a good movie if he wanted to.
I presume with someone else in it, you might suggest. The thing that bothered me is that with that Dirty Harry thing, he could have done something else. He didn't have to have a group of vigilantes that we learn nothing about. Nothing about. You see men in suits swinging knives. You know what it looked like to me? An exercise tape done by Bruce Lee for businessmen.
That's right. We know nothing about it.
So the villain ultimately is unexplored. Now, how do you do that in a cop picture? That was a bad mistake. Coming up next at the movies, a bunch of children are launched into space. By mistake.
The next 20 minutes are going to be the most exciting of your life.
20 minutes? I wish 20 days.
A teenage adventure about a bunch of kids who go to a high-tech summer camp run by the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA. But through a malfunction of sorts, a group of these space campers are launched into space along with their counselor, Kate Capshaw. Here's her opening lecture to the kids before they fly to the moon.
4 years ago, Spacecamp was created not only to provide you with hands-on access to space hardware, but also to teach you how to work together as a team. Hi, I'm Andy Bergstrom.
I'm an astronaut, first female pilot.
Yeah, how did you know that?
I've read all about you in the Young Astronauts program. I mean, listen, you were the backup pilot for the first Discovery flight. The Coast got it instead?
Yeah, I remember.
What are you doing here?
That's a good question. Hello. And what is your name?
Rudy Tyler, ma'am.
Spit it out, Rudy.
Rudy Tyler, ma'am! Big laugh, huh? Part of the program, the kids visit a real rocket capsule, but this one is launched into space, and sad to say, it does make us think of the deadly Challenger launch.
We have missiles! Number 18, step on my mark! 3, 2, 1! Do you know where it is? Think so! Got it!
They've got their arms burned. They're still climbing. Come on.
Tracking reads Atlantis at 180 by 33. They're in orbit.
Not too magical for my taste. Once in space, the kids have a problem when they run out of oxygen and have to go to a space station to get some. Again, we think of the Challenger tragedy.
We are going to make this suit as small as Max so he can fit through this.
Maxwell.
Sorry, Max. Hang in there. It's me! I'm gonna rescue you!
I don't know about you, but I guess I've OD'd on space adventure films because all that looked like to me was an erector set made out of white wood, and she's climbing there, and it wasn't very thrilling. And even if this film didn't trigger thoughts about the ill-fated Challenger mission, I don't think I would have cared that much for Spacecamp. Of course, there's nothing wrong with the idea of kids going into space. I mean, what kid wouldn't want to try it? But this movie takes such a long and boring time getting around to the takeoff that the launch itself, the big point in the movie, becomes anticlimactic. And then, of course, sets off those unfortunate other signals. The film has no distinctive personalities, and Kate Capshaw serves merely as sort of a game show hostess taking these kids for a ride. A rather dull ride, I'm afraid, in Spacecamp.
I didn't like it either. I especially didn't like the first hour where they're trying to identify who these kids are. And what I had all kinds of practical questions. Now, you know that this movie is impractical, so if you're asking practical questions, the movie isn't working.
Right.
Two of these kids go off and make out at night and violate the curfew. The rest of the kids, when they get on board the capsule in the rehearsal scene, completely screw up, and they mess, and they just goof off, and they don't take anything seriously.
Right.
So why were these kids chosen to be the ones who got to go onto the real space capsule? And also, how likely is it that while they were testing the engines of a true space shuttle, they would let kids sit in the pilot seat to have fun.
Of course,
Not too likely.
Not too likely. And I want to make one more complaint. A year ago, I wrote an article about all the summer movies that we were having, and there were no black teenage girls in any of those movies. The one minority that is excluded. You'd have black boys, but no black girls. Again, in this movie, in this mix, I looked at all the kids in the lineup. There wasn't a black or Hispanic girl in the film. This is a group that is shut out of the movie industry completely, and they do it again with Spacecamp.
The only consolation is this is probably one movie they're just as happy to be
cut out of what, because they shouldn't see it either.
Okay. We both voted thumbs down for Sylvester Stallone's Cobra, an experiment to see if a film can live without a heart or a mind. 2 more thumbs down for the brainless Spacecamp with a bunch of teenagers in a runaway space shuttle